The Shadow Claw Experiment. The metal floor felt cold against Dr. Elena Vasquez's knees as the Kethmori guards shoved her into the containment chamber. Their insectoid faces clicked with amusement as they watched her stumble forward. "Another soft skin for the Shadow Claws," one guard chittered to another. "This one won't last an hour." Elena pushed herself up, her scientist's mind already working despite the fear coursing through her veins. The chamber was massive, easily 50 feet across, with walls that stretched up into darkness. Emergency lighting cast eerie shadows across the floor, and the air smelled of metal and something wild. She had been studying alien ecosystems for 15 years, but nothing had prepared her for this. From the shadows came a low growl that made her blood freeze. 3 pairs of glowing yellow eyes emerged from the darkness, attached to creatures that looked like wolves crossed with nightmares. The Shadow Claws were magnificent and terrifying, standing 4 feet tall at the shoulder with sleek black fur that seemed to absorb light. Their claws caught the dim lighting, each one as long as Elena's fingers and sharp enough to cut through steel. The lead Shadow Claw, a massive male with scars across his muzzle, stepped forward. His pack flanked him, their movements perfectly coordinated. Elena's heart hammered as she remembered the Kethmori's cruel explanation of this experiment. They wanted to see how long different species could survive against their apex predators. Most lasted minutes. But Elena wasn't most people. She was a xenobiologist who had spent her career studying animal behavior across 12 different star systems. As the Shadow Claws approached, she forced herself to think like a scientist, not prey. She noticed the lead male's slight limp, the way the female on the left favored her right side, and the younger male's missing patch of fur. These weren't healthy predators. They were wounded, probably underfed, and definitely stressed. The Kethmori had been using them as gladiatorial tools for who knows how long. Instead of running or cowering, Elena slowly sat down cross-legged on the floor. She kept her hands visible and her posture relaxed, avoiding direct eye contact while still watching their movements. The Shadow Claws stopped, confused by prey that neither fled nor attacked. "Hey there," Elena said softly, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "You guys look like you've been through hell." The lead male tilted his head, ears forward. Elena reached into her pocket and pulled out a protein bar from her emergency rations. She broke it in half, eating one piece slowly while placing the other on the ground between them. "I know you're hungry. They're starving you, aren't they?" Above them, the Kethmori researchers watched in confusion through reinforced windows. "What is the soft skin doing?" one asked. "Why doesn't it run?" Elena ignored the alien voices and focused on the Shadow Claws. The younger male had crept closer, drawn by the smell of food. She tossed him a small piece of the protein bar. He caught it and devoured it instantly, his eyes never leaving her face. "That's right," Elena murmured. "I'm not your enemy. We're all prisoners here." Over the next few hours, Elena used every trick she'd learned studying pack animals. She shared her food, spoke in calming tones, and gradually earned their trust. When she noticed the female's infected wound, she tore strips from her shirt to clean it. The Shadow Claw whimpered but allowed the treatment. The Kethmori guards grew increasingly agitated. "The experiment is failing," their leader announced. "The soft skin should have been consumed by now." But Elena was just getting started. As she treated the Shadow Claw's wounds and shared her rations, she was also studying the chamber. Her scientific mind cataloged every detail: the ventilation system, the electrical conduits, the structural weak points. She had a plan forming. By the 3rd day, the 3 Shadow Claws had accepted her as part of their pack. She slept curled against their warm fur, protected by creatures that could have torn her apart. The lead male, whom she'd named Fenrir, had begun bringing her scraps of food the guards sometimes threw into the chamber. "This is impossible," the head researcher declared. "No species has ever bonded with the Shadow Claws. We must terminate the experiment and dispose of the soft skin." That night, Elena put her plan into action. She had noticed that the electrical system controlling the chamber's locks ran through exposed conduits near the ceiling. The Shadow Claws, with their incredible jumping ability, could reach them. She had also observed the guards' patrol patterns and identified their weaknesses. "Listen to me," she whispered to her pack. "We're getting out of here tonight." Using a combination of human ingenuity and animal instincts, Elena orchestrated their escape. Fenrir leaped up to tear through the electrical conduits, plunging sections of the facility into darkness. The female, Luna, used her claws to pry open the chamber door. The younger male, Storm, scouted ahead using his superior senses. The Kethmori guards, expecting to face mindless beasts, were unprepared for a coordinated assault led by human intelligence. Elena directed her pack through the facility's corridors, avoiding security forces and finding the exit. The shadow claws moved like living shadows, their natural abilities enhanced by Elena's tactical guidance. As they reached the facility's outer perimeter, Elena turned back to see the chaos behind them. Alarms blared and emergency lights flashed. The Kethmori had learned something they hadn't expected. Humans weren't just another species to be tested. They were adapters, alliance builders, and survivors. Elena and her unlikely pack disappeared into the alien forest, but not before she had memorized the facility's layout and security protocols. When she finally made contact with human forces weeks later, she brought with her both crucial intelligence and 3 loyal companions who had chosen to stay by her side. The Kethmori Empire had expected to study human weakness. Instead, they had discovered humanity's greatest strength, the ability to turn enemies into allies, to find friendship in the most unlikely places, and to prove that sometimes the most dangerous predator is the one who refuses to hunt alone.